It becomes easier.
You have to love this guy, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Cioch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the big question is, why are you here? You are here because you're interested in product development, of course. There have not been many product development-focused conferences in Kraków. Let me invite on stage the very first speaker, Tomasz Motyl, in a presentation entitled, Is Disruption in the Financial Sector Only for New Players? His main responsibility was to create application architecture for the new bank, from the front-end applications to core systems. And these included the implementation of Alior Sync, T-Mobile banking services delivered by Alior Bank and Big Data. Just stay with us for a second. We still have a minute to ask you a question or two, if you don't mind. I would risk the same guess, which I asked yesterday. When do you think the first software product will come out of Kraków that will skyrocket to international fame?
In general, Poland, I would say, is much better in B2B products, not B2C products.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Cioch,
it's because of you.
Quick question.
Yeah.
You mentioned in your presentation towards the end that you have some research ambitions. And are you able to somehow measure the level of tension you come across in those organizations? For instance, how easy would it be for you in a corporate environment to stir up this much positive enthusiasm? But there may be actually some side effects. For instance, you teach this to an HR manager and then he or she says, you're fired. What would be your recommendation, Grzegorz, for the next edition of the conference? Previous speakers before you have identified different gaps for product development. They mentioned that we have design issues, that we have problems with developing the holistic experience with products. What do you think is the biggest obstacle in the market, or maybe mental obstacle, as some have identified, for product development success?
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, incremental change. One question from the audience, please.
So what corporates should do, they should openly communicate and admit that they need startups to stay competitive in the market.
Because what I see here is there's a lot of very, very smart people whose abilities are underutilized.
When you look at the Dragon Valley of Polish startups here in Kraków, what would you say is the best thing in the current critical mass moment, as some of you have described it before? Do you think this ecosystem is already good enough at communicating about itself? Success stories, the next steps it's planning to take. Collective voice, I'm asking about.
This is the missing bit, I think, the success stories as well.
Time for me to invite on stage the very person who actually conceptualized this conference and made it happen. Edita, can you join me, please, on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, let me give you a little background. Edita Korona is a social entrepreneur, but psychologist, and I could sense this from the very first conversation with her. She's passionate about psychology in technology. So what do you think is the key idea behind a conference like this?
Meeting people, exchanging ideas, getting inspired to do something you haven't been doing before, doing something new tomorrow, getting some knowledge from other people, and well, getting the energy to make a leap ahead.